Hi, I'm Philip Fox. Today I'm going to be sharing something that I wrote this morning about meditation. Obviously I'm not a master or nothing. I'm learning just as anybody else is. Well, we're all learning together. So I just thought, because I feel like I have enough to be able to share to help other people or just provide confirmation, just, just to spark more things. I mean, also in writing it, it helped me understand it more as well about my own goals and what meditation means for me. So, yeah. There's no right or wrong way to meditate. Whatever works to help you get into a state of relaxation, presence, or reflection. So far, I've learned three goals of practicing meditation. Goodness. Obviously, there's a bunch of different ways and goals that you can have in mind, but these are three that I feel that works, and other goals branch off of these base three. One, giving myself a time away from everything so I can refocus and recover energy and calm my nervous system down. So the goal, that's still just a basic goal. It doesn't take any amount of time to do that. Obviously the more time the better, 5 to 10 minutes, but even if all you have is 5 seconds just to breathe a little bit and then just not block everything out, but be so present, because the more present you get, the less stuff necessarily matters in a sense, because the present moment is all that there is. There's extremes to it and whatnot, but just providing yourself with a space to allow your mind to breathe. Because if you're still stuck thinking about all the stuff you have to do later or all the stuff that you did before, you don't have time to calm or to relax your brain at all. So you're just always going. So just putting the primary goal of giving yourself a time at a time. Yes, you're still gonna have responsibilities, but in this moment, no, you don't. Not in just, you can find 5 to 10 minutes where you're not required to do anything, and then just sit. But obviously, for some people, schedules is busier than others, so it's more difficult to find that time. But again, just making the designated time to create a space where you don't have to think about anything, because in this moment, there's nothing you required to do. So you don't think about something you're required to do or stuff from the past that you've already done. And two, okay. The second goal is to focus on your breathing or constant sound in your environment, so that your conscious can slip away and bring forth your subconscious. So that part is representative of just another layer of relaxation that you can get to. And also in your subconscious state, more of your thoughts and repressed emotions and energies can come to the forefront, because you're allowing the space to give the rest to rise to what you have stored inside. Because what you have stored inside, it does not leave. I don't know how to say that in a much clearer way for people to understand. It will never leave until you release it. So that thing happened 20 years ago, that thing happened 5 years ago, however long it happened. If you repressed it and you didn't process it and let it go, it's still gonna be in here. You're gonna have to work through it eventually. It might not take the same form, because you might lose it in your brain, and you might recognize it more as the energy versus the event. That might make sense. But regardless, you're gonna have to reprocess it again, or just process it properly the first time, right? Also, in the second step this is when anything, yeah, that's what I just said. I don't know, I'm mix of saying stuff and reading it, so yeah. This is when some people can stop because it starts to get too much, or they can't still themselves long enough. But again, meditation is a skill that takes time to practice. Yeah, it's a skill, and it really depends on your body and your mental state and what you personally have to work on and work through. I'll get into that a little bit later. There's no avoiding the pain of repressed emotions. It's going to be ever present until you work through it. There's no sugarcoating it. It's just something you have to build a tolerance for, little by little, as you dig in and release your subconscious and release those repressed, stored energies and emotions, it'll get easier, and then you'll stop holding on to as much, and you'll learn more about yourself, and your strength will grow in ways you can't even imagine yet. Because it's difficult. Yeah. Like, it's difficult to imagine not being all bottled up when you are bottled up, but you bottle stuff up and then it gets to a point where you can't hold it anymore, and then it fractures, and you're left to pick up the pieces and figure out what to do with your own energies and your own nervous system. But if you haven't gotten to that point yet, and you're still holding on to stuff, but you haven't felt that fracture point yet, you have to learn how to release it. But I don't exactly know if everybody has to hit that fracture point in order to be able to, like, completely understand the full extent of why you need to, like, release and regulate your nervous system and emotions. Because somebody can tell you it time and time again, but until you felt the break internally and you have nothing else to do besides pick up the pieces and the shards of glass that are left, like, I don't know, it's just, that's the thing I gotta think about more. It might just be something people have to experience in order to, like, grow and evolve. Because if you haven't hit that point yet, there's just a certain, like, it's just a certain experience that gives you the energy and awareness that's different than if you hadn't have it. Yeah. Okay. The third goal is trying to get into a state of relaxation to where you can astral project. But first, I'm gonna try to explain a little bit about the astral realm. We'll see if I can. Okay. The astral plane is the second plane beyond the physical. Yeah. The second plane beyond the physical. And it's where your thoughts, emotions, and energy take shape. Everyone is connected to it, but some people have an easier time processing and interpreting what they see in it and the connection to it. It takes being aware of and focusing your energy into and through your third eye chakra. If you don't know about the chakras of the third eye chakra, you're gonna have to dig a little bit into that. It's not that complicated, truthfully. It's just the energy centers. Like, you have the root, which is red, and it's kind of like below, like at your tailbone, and it brings to the front. And sacral is a little bit lower. It's below your belly button here. Root is about grounding and just feeling connected to the earth. Sacral is like the creative sexual energy used to just kind of go throughout the day, because people are kind of based in anyway, that's off topic. Okay. And then third is the solar plexus, which is like your, I don't want to say ego, because that's like, that term is way too convoluted, or just, it's just your center, just your core, just of like, I guess I'll just say ego for now until I figure out something else. And then your heart space, obviously heart, emotions, feeling, empathy, that stuff. And then your, red, orange, yellow is the solar plexus. Heart is green, and then third chakra is blue, and third is just speaking, being able to express yourself and your desires and your emotions and whatnot. And then third eye is kind of violet purple, and it's about like intuition, which is connected to the astral plane, connected to spiritual gifts and whatnot. It's a little bit hard to explain that one because it's a lot of personal experience. And then the crown chakra is up top. It's not necessarily, it's just kind of hovering above you, kind of representing the connection point between you and the higher realms. Quick rundown, but again, you can find a million videos on the chakras. But whenever you try to visualize something, you set the intention on the mental plane, which is above the astral plane. And as you hold it, it moves down to the astral plane, where you then imagine it, where it starts to take shape, and you can see it, sorta, using your third eye chakra. Well, it's, some people see, other people feel, hear, taste, and smell. I use quotes because, like, relating it to the five senses is the only way to kind of explain it. Because I don't know, because it's just your clairs, which are your psychic senses, which are just an enhanced version of your basic five senses. But also in this context, we're more so using it to interpret the astral realm rather than perceive what we... And it's just levels of perception. So I forgot how to make it make more sense. Like, for me, I'm still learning how to, like, when I meditate, I'm still learning how to, like, perceive and see what I'm visualizing. But when I'm visualizing something, I feel it immediately. Like, it kind of feels like echolocation to me in a way. Like, if I'm picturing something like my old school or whatever, I first feel it before, like, it takes me time to, like, sit and try to build a mental image. Like, I have to get deeper into, like, relaxation, deep into my subconscious to be able to see the mental images, but I can feel the mental images right away. Like, no delay for me. Like, I can feel it as though it's there. But again, it's not like I'm seeing it, I'm, like, feeling it, kind of like echolocation, because I'm not picturing it, it's just bouncing back to me. Like, well, it's just bouncing back to something. That's why it's a personal experience thing that you really have to get into and allow yourself to feel a little bit silly to understand these things, because it's a different way of processing things than society has explained or taught at all. So yeah. Next page, there's more. I say all of that because exploring the astral plane is the last goal of meditation, in my opinion. Well, like, there's the main steps. Like, obviously there's a million infinite goals in between, but the main steps are getting to the present moment of relaxation, allowing your subconscious to come through and to work with it, and then accessing the astral plane. Obviously there's probably more after. Until we as humans know what that is, we don't know yet. So it's up to us to get there. But yes. But truthfully, meditation is already done as soon as you set the intention and sit and lie down. Intention is everything. Intention, get out of my hair, please. Intention is your focus. It's also your energy. Which is why in meditation, if you're focusing on focusing on a certain part of your body, like putting your intention there, you will eventually start to feel the energy move in however way. Like, for me, yesterday, I felt it as like, well, first I kind of get like a massaging at my heels. Like, I feel like energy balls on my heels, and it feels like somebody's massaging my feet and pulling them down, kind of. That makes sense. And then I consistently feel like a wave of water or just air or whatever just overtake my energy. I mean, yeah. You really have to just allow yourself to feel stuff, truthfully. Once you're able to fully relax your body and feel the energy start to wash over you, try not to fret. Because yes, it might be scary and uncomfortable at first, but this is why it's a skill that needs to be practiced, and it's going to take multiple like attempts to understand what's happening. And you also might just fall asleep. You also just might fall asleep sometimes. Truthfully, it's a fine veil to cross, because you're trying to keep your brain up while putting your body asleep. But if you're too focused on sleep, or you're too focused on your subconscious, and you let it go, and then you're out, right? So you have to try to maintain an awareness while letting your subconscious come through, while letting your body fall asleep. Exactly. It's a little bit difficult. It's a little bit difficult. You might just fall asleep on accident. But again, it also helps you sleep. So, it's hot outside, sorry. The tingling is your body relaxing and your energetic body rising. You might be able to get some visuals while you're slipping deeper into your subconscious. Visuals meaning like, again, you can kind of, since you're trying to, the imagination astral realm plane, and you're focused on that, you might have visualizations of what you're like thinking about, or if you're like doing the method of, like, you could focus on your thoughts and constructing something, or you could like let your subconscious go and then piggyback off of what your subconscious is doing to have an easier time like imagining it, rather than, okay, for me, what I was doing yesterday is trying to like constructively think about something and then imagine it and then visualize it. But obviously that was kind of difficult to do. Like, I was still able to, like, I was trying to do with the boomerang. It came out odd, but like, it was there. But then when I was like getting deeper into it, and like my subconscious was seeping in more and more, and I just started thinking about stuff without trying to, then that started to paint a little bit of a better picture. Then once I was like, oh wait, I was trying to picture something else, then it went back. So I was saying, like, trying to like allow your subconscious to seep through, then catch what it's thinking about, but not like change what it's thinking about, which is kind of difficult to do, because once you catch it, you think about changing it. It's a lot of nuance and interplay you have to do in these states. It's a lot of nuance you have to be able to sense and feel and experience, and that takes a lot of time. I know I can feel a lot of it because I'm hypersensitive as fuck. Like, I'm super sensitive. Like, I can't eat a lot of foods, right? Because it just hurts. You feel me? But, okay, let's see. Okay. To explore the astral, like, realm, like, to people, like, actually, like, imagining is one thing and visualizing is one thing, but then going out and exploring, very different. I'm not gonna say completely different, because it's still like the astral plane, but it's a different experience. But it still bases upon the former. To explore the astral plane, one must learn how to project their soul/energy body out of the physical body. There's no surefire way to do that, and I'm still learning how to do that part myself, but I feel it has a lot to do with feeling safe and comfortable in your current environment. Like, for me, I can get there, especially if I take like psychedelics or something, I can get there, but like, I still feel so like trapped in my body sometimes. That just could be like a mental thing I need to like figure out where it stems from. Like, I'll be trying to astral project and then I'll just fall asleep on accident, or like I can't get the visualization of my energy body yet to like extend outward. Okay, maybe that's what I need to practice on, like maybe you gotta visualize like your energy body first until you can get like a good grasp and a good feel of your energy body before trying to like release it, if that makes sense, versus just trying to release it. I don't know, I'm trying to make sense. A lot of this is just speculation, trying to do something, because there are methods that you can search, but again, it's personal. It might not work for you, and again, there's so many other steps in play that it's not just about, I'm gonna astral project, done. Like, it for some people it might be that easy, for some people it is that easy, but not for everybody though. And again, everybody has strengths and weaknesses. Yeah, but where does that leave the one? Where does that leave the angsty and the one? Where does that leave the angsty and the nervous ones? It just means we still have a lot of learning, healing, and growth to do to feel more secure and comfortable in our bodies, which again is a skill. I can't also get that through enough. Everything is a skill, and everything can be improved upon. So just because you don't get something the first try, please don't get discouraged, because it takes time to grow a skill, And growth is exponential. So the better you get at learning, and the better you understand yourself, and the better you can help yourself learn, the easier it is to just do anything, right? But you have to take it upon yourself to understand yourself, because that's not something that you can find elsewhere. That's something you have to give to yourself, right? Okay. Meditation, this is just kind of bringing it all back together now. Meditation is the act of bringing your mind to the present. Mind to the present. Yeah. Mind to the... Okay. I wrote this kind of backwards. Meditation is the act of bringing your mind to the present so that your awareness of each thought/energy, because thoughts are energies, and again, sometimes the thought might be so long ago that you might just feel it and not know what it actually is about. You might just have that feeling, but you got to be able. That's why you got to be able to understand what something feels like, and then relate it to how else you feel internally. So then you can piece together things like that. So you don't necessarily have to remember something to release it. You just know the energy, and okay, this is what I could do to release this like type of stuck negative energy, and that'll be specific to the individuals, obviously. And okay, let me start this again. Sorry. Meditation is the act of bringing your mind to the present, so much so that that you can be aware of each thought and energy, and actively and consciously decide what to do with it. That also leads you to rewriting all the programming society and growing up has put on you. Most of your thoughts are not yours. This is not new information. Most of your thoughts are not yours. Most of the stuff you believe is not you. And you have to take the time to vet yourself and what that means, and like what's true for you. That doesn't mean everything you've heard is bad, obviously, but you have to make the basis within yourself. I know I get into this right here, so I'm about to not overstep myself. Again, never any shame, blame, or guilt. They're not needed, and they mainly reinforce negative energy patterns. Like I say, no shame, blame, or guilt, because when you're working with stuff that you've repressed, it can bring up shame, blame, and guilt, and all those things do is just reinforce the negative energy. Like if someone, somebody can shame somebody into doing something, but that doesn't leave them with a good impression of that person. Yeah, it might get done, but now that person feels bad about themselves, and now that person dislikes that person for making them feel bad about themselves. And see, but the thing got done, but now the person who did it is a little bit of a worse person for that, and the person who's on the receiving end of the guilt or the shame now feels a little bit worse, right? Like there's a million better ways to do things than that. And also it hinders, because it doesn't open, it restricts, and you don't want to ever restrict anything, especially yourself, especially from yourself, right? I'll leave you with this. Get into meditation. Think of a belief that you have. See if you can find where it comes from. If the reasoning first starts with somebody else, there's a high chance that it's a program that you picked up from other people. That's not to say it's automatically bad, but like if you wave at your neighbors every time you see them just because your parents did, yeah, that might be kind to do, but it's still based within what your parents are doing and not within your values, if that makes sense. But again, that's not to say it's not your value, but it's just it's just a re-evaluating of these things. Yes, it's a value because it's one of your parents' values, but that it's better to have the values based in yourself. So you see the value and you take it and you're like, okay, so why do I have this value for myself then? And then hold it for yourself, not just because your parents did it, not just because somebody else is doing it, but because you doing it, right? Yes, it may start from somebody or something else, but then you have to take it and understand it and apply it for yourself, and then be the reason why you uphold it, not for somebody else. You gotta uphold it for yourself. That's what I'm trying to get through right now. And you gotta put the basis within your own experience and your own morality. Okay. To have a clean moral compass, you should base existence, which is just living, and this also applies to other people you see as well, not just yourself, on showing love, gratitude, learning, growing, being authentic, respecting others, not taking things personally, desiring everyone to grow and evolve, not intentionally hurting people, understanding that everybody's equal and has strengths and weaknesses, and that understanding that everybody is literally doing their best. Even when you think they're not, they're doing the best that they can muster that second. Could you see more could you see them doing more? Yes. But are they? No. So they're doing the best that they can in that moment. Thank you for your time. I hope this helps wake somebody up a little bit more, or provide a confirmation that you're not alone in the journey of the path to ascension. I am Violet Fox. Thank you. I'm also Katsune.